Hello everyone and welcome to CSC 122, and it's an intermediate course in C++. My name is Larry Schoeneman and I'll be your instructor for the course. I've been teaching in Harper for I think about 6 years. Before that I taught at CLC, and I also teach at NIU's satellite program. When I'm not being an adjunct professor, I work full-time for a wellness company where I am the director of engineering and responsible for all of IT. In general, I'm pretty easygoing, and I look forward to helping you as much as I can so you learn this material effectively. So let's talk about some course details. It runs from the 5th to the 30th officially. All work and tests need to be handed in by the 26th, and that's when the course ends for us. This course is entirely asynchronous. There's no lecture times. You watch videos, you read the book, and you do the assignments. I do hold a regular question and answer session every Tuesday at 5. Attendance is not mandatory, and if no one attends, I'll stop holding them. Typically, that's what happens. Later in the semester, people just stop coming. However, if you need to meet with me outside of that, I am more than happy to accommodate you. We can set up a meeting. The easiest and really only way to contact me is via email. So now we're going to talk a little bit about our syllabus here. Some dates, first of all, some dates to remember. The first question and answer section will be on the 6th at 5 p.m. You can drop the class for a full refund by the 12th. The last day to withdraw is 7/17. If you withdraw, you must drop the class with the registrar's office. You'll get a W on your transcript, but if you don't do that, you'll end up with an F. And the final exam and turn-in date is 7/26, as I had mentioned before. So let's talk about what this course is about. This class is about using C++ and an object-oriented approach to introduce design and implementation of large-scale problems. Now, large-scale is a bit of a misnomer here because really it's too short of a class to do anything really big, but they will be bigger than what you've done before. We're going to talk about data structures, including arrays, files, sets, pointers, lists, stacks, and queues. We're going to introduce program verification and complexity. We're going to build on previous knowledge of searching and sorting to introduce recursion and complexity analysis. Now, in order to do well in this class, you have to have 121. If you don't have the Introduction to C++ class, this class is not for you. It will be very hard, and honestly, you probably won't pass it. Also, having Calculus 1 behind you is also a requirement by the school. So, what materials do you need? You're going to need the book, C++ How to Program, 10th edition. You want the electronic edition because it has all sorts of interactive goodies, and I believe it's also a little cheaper, so that's what you should go with. For development software, you're going to need a C++ compiler. Some options are Visual Studio, Ming W64, which is G++ for Windows. You can run G++ on Linux or run G++ on the Windows System Emulator for Linux, WSL, on Windows. You can use an IDE. Visual Studio 2022 would be my current recommendation, or you can use Visual Studio Code. IDE configuration, though, is all up to you. You have to create a working system. You should have already done this before. In order to do this, I do give some brief guides on Blackboard. By the way, the course will also be held on Blackboard in their communications tool. So, additionally, you'll need to use version control software in order to hand in your assignments. We'll be using Git, GitHub, and GitHub Classroom. I'll have a separate video available for you to explain how it works. However, when you do hand in assignments, they have to come in via Git and GitHub Classroom. There's no exceptions to this. It's important that you learn Git. It's used in the industry all over, and it's just required. Also, and I cannot stress this enough because it makes me crazy, All assignments must have a header, and the header must look exactly like the example here. Why am I so picky about that? Well, number one, I do some auto checking with other programs, and number two, it's a very simple instruction that you should be able to follow, but oftentimes students don't. If you misformat the header, you're going to lose 2 points out of 10. If you don't have a header, I'm just going to give you a 0 because honestly, you guys should be able to follow simple instructions. And I'm kind of merciless about that. Talk about grading. There are 2 exams plus a final. It's 30% of your grade. There are also 19 program assignments, which will make up 70%. I'm all about programming. Honestly, the tests are mere formalities. They're usually not particularly hard because, in my opinion, you're here to learn programming. The only way to learn programming is by programming. All assignments are due on the date specified in the syllabus at 5 p.m. that day, CST. All assignments must be handed in by 5 p.m. on July 26, 2023 for any partial credit. All assignments must be submitted via GitHub Classroom and the outline process, which we'll go into in the presentation on GitHub. If you don't complete the full submission process, even if you put the files there, but you don't finish submitting them, it won't be graded because I won't see it, and you'll get a 0. So, if an assignment is handed in late, here's my schedule for penalties. I give you a 2-day grace period, okay? It all includes weekends. For assignments due on the 26th, however, because it's the end of the class, there is no grace period. If your assignment is 3 days late, including weekends, you're going to get knocked for 20%. And that is including the 2 days. So 2 days you get 0. Day 3 you're going to get hit for 20%. Day 4 50%. And day 5, well, sorry Charlie, you should have played. What's this course going to cover? Well, first of all, we're going to review classes, vectors, files, pointer, arrays, and C-strings. We'll talk about dynamic memory with classes, streams, operator overloading, inheritance and polymorphism, templates and lambdas, iterators, an introduction to analysis, recursion, more data structures, and STL. We'll also talk about templates and exception handling, and if we can get to it, some name scope management. So that's the overview of the class, and I look forward to working with you all and getting to know you.